But you being someone who will one day, if you're not already a business owner, like I think about the whole thing of having an approved amount of slogans that you can put on your back. Um, don't you think that because this is the NBA, it's the NBA's platform, that they have kind of a responsibility and they have the right to uh, limit how it is that they are portrayed? You
Yeah,
know,
but to that, I would say, what about having the possibility of giving players an opportunity to suggest, like, hey,
Mhm.
I want to put the gospel on the back of my jersey. What do you think about that? And then they say yes or no, or give their reason why not saying it. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
that's fair.
but just giving players the option to suggest, and it not just kind of be this hard line of uh, because of the moment that we're in, these are the only ones that can be worn.
I
Um,
got to be honest though, I don't think they let you put the gospel in the back.
no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
For some reason, that would be too offensive. Like to put the gospel, like you put John 3:16 on the back of your jersey. No way, that's never happening. Why
Yeah.
is that? What's with the? I don't like. I don't. I.
So
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. There's the and I don't really want to get into the weeds with this, but there's something that I heard about the players, right? The players that didn't want to wear the patch, right, and of the LGBTQ patch, and then there was a reporter, I forget her name, but she came out and was, said that they were bigots and this, that, and the third. And she said they had to do more. If they did more research, then they would understand why wearing the patch is necessary. And
Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, the baseball players who refused to wear the pride patch on their jerseys. You're talking about?
yeah, and one of the things that the reporter said, she said they were bigots and this, that, and the third. And she said that if they had did more research, then then they would know why they needed to do that. And the thought that came to me was if she or if anybody on that side has done more research on what the actual faith says and really is about, not even taking the context out of the people, because at the end of the day, people are wrong in all types of ways, and we abuse the faith and all those different things, and we don't always have the best people who are promoting the faith for the right reasons, and you have all the things that have happened in the past. But if you go to the core of what the Christian faith is and you actually really try to understand it, you know that it's about love, and it's about loving the people that are different from you, but at the same time standing up for what you believe to be right. And I don't think that just going to that point about John 3:16 not being something that would have been allowed on a jersey, to me is like you have that side that's like, well, you need to do more research on the facts and the things that are coming out of that community. But it's like, well, if you had done that same research, I think that it would be something that you would allow on the back of a jersey. But because you wouldn't allow it.
But Christianity's treated as frivolous and it's subjugated to whatever our cultural passions are. So like if you get a couple of Tampa Bay Ray baseball players who are like, no, I'm not putting a leftist like political movement pride flag on my jersey. I'm just going to go out in my normal jersey. They're treated by an ESPN woman, Sarah Spain, is who made those comments, as bigots. That she just goes on air and just calls them bigots. What? In fact, she sounds like she's bigoted by depriving them of the agency to say that their Christianity is the most important thing to them.
So let me, before we get there, I just want to ask, if you were to put, John 3:16 on the back of your jersey, what if, someone wants to put a Hindu scripture on the back of their jersey, or a Muslim wants to put a surah on the back of their jersey? I think that there are a lot of people, you're in the state of Florida. I think there's a lot of people who would have an issue with seeing a Muslim.
I absolutely agree with you.
So I think when you open that can of worms, so I would totally hear you if you were saying, for example, like, let's just wear our jerseys. You know what I mean? And we can say what we want to the media.
Yeah.
And, even there are people I've seen who have talked about, during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I believe, the players wear pink in the NFL. Now, breast cancer affects everybody. It affects, people from, families from all different walks of life, rich, poor. And I believe a few of the owners lost their wives to breast cancer. I think Robert Kraft, did he lose his wife? Somebody. And I know that the owner of the Commanders, Dan Schneider, who's not my favorite guy as a former Commanders fan, his wife is a survivor. But there are a lot of people who made the point that a lot of, the NFL is all men, and men die of prostate cancer.
Yeah, by the way, just to be clear, Robert Kraft, I just looked it up. His wife, Myra Kraft, did die of cancer in 2011. It was ovarian cancer, though, but you can understand why he'd be supportive of efforts to tackle cancer. I think everyone are.
I mean,
absolutely.
I kind of see where you're going with your point, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, people like, it's mostly men. And as a matter of fact, probably you and I, even more so than Vince, because it affects Black men.
Yeah.
More Black men die of prostate cancer more often. And as a matter of fact, the NFL is 60% Black. So everybody's like, why aren't we doing something for prostate cancer?
Is there a prostate cancer day?
I don't know, to be honest, probably not. I don't know that there's a color, there's no, okay, we're wearing green for prostate cancer.
Sure.
So I think a lot of people, my thing is when you start opening this door, and this is what I think about the kneeling and the standing, was that it was a silent protest. Nobody said anything. It wasn't, I want to wear a slogan or I want to wear a t-shirt. It was a silent protest. And it was so strange to people on the left that the right was so offended by somebody just taking a knee, which happens all the time in football. That was so offensive when in fact it was done out of respect, just like you standing was done out of respect.